Let's define diversity and inclusion. Diversity are the differences that make a difference in the labor force. They're changes in demographic characteristics. The workforce was expected to be more variable in the future in demographic characteristics like race, ethnicity, and gender, and diversity seemed a good word to convey these differences. Later, some thought it would be useful also to consider other bases for diversity, such as education levels, geographic background, language, value systems, and other attributes. Early diversity work emphasized the process of bringing into the organization those who were different than current employees in important ways. This is called representational diversity. However, patterns began to emerge. Women and minorities were hired but seldom progressed in the organization, and some even left in a fairly short period of time. Merely hiring people from underrepresented groups clearly is not sufficient. Employers must also consider processes and factors that lead people of difference to become fully accepted and equally productive and rewarded at work. This state is called inclusion. The narrow usage of the term diversity refers to differences among people such as sex, race, or disability that have historically been the basis for important power differences and serious discrimination and hostility. It generally refers to surface diversity, meaning attributes of people that can easily be seen and thus often become the basis for stereotyping, misunderstanding, and potential difficulties at work. From a psychological perspective on diversity management, our concerns are the behaviors and feelings of different people and how organizations and managers can and most effectively deal with these issues. Therefore, we'll use the term diversity to mean differences among people that are likely to affect their acceptance, performance, satisfaction, or progress in an organization. That's to say, diversity are differences that make a difference. Diversity management refers to planned and systematic programs designed to make diversity a source of innovation and increased effectiveness rather than miscommunication, conflict, or obstacles to advancement. Inclusion refers to one result of good diversity management practices, the acceptance, satisfaction, and progress of different groups of people. Inclusion refers to programs intended to highlight uniqueness of various groups or individuals. Workforce diversity affects every HR function as well as outcomes for all employees. One of the first steps in making decisions about employees is to identify what must be done in each job. Typically, this is done through job analysis, which involves observing or interviewing job incumbents and people in related jobs. A good job analysis procedure is a list of tasks, as well as a list of knowledge, skills, and abilities to be sought in applicants during the next process of selection. Diversity should be considered in the job analysis process. For example, job analysis in KSAs may be suspect if they're not based on a representative sample of incumbents of different demographic characteristics. The hiring or selection function involves choosing people who have or can learn the necessary KSAs for the job in question. Some commonly used selection tests may not fairly assess job-related skills if the individual possesses a disability or comes from a minority ethnic group with a background different than that of the majority employee. Organizations may find that their applicant pools are more diverse than in former years, and the selection process may require adaptation to take this into account, such as providing testing instructions in various language. Training refers to learning experiences specifically designed to focus on the job and work policies. Training may be provided for newcomers and for incumbents when a job is changed significantly or new policies are instituted. With respect to training, existing systems or programs may need to be adapted to the educational backgrounds, language capabilities, or learning styles of new employees who are different in important ways from employees of the past. Organizational development refers to processes that occur when leaders attempt to improve internal relationships and success in accomplishing important goals. Sometimes organizational development techniques are used to diagnose and remedy problems among people or groups that impede the organization's success. At other times, they're used when organizations are doing well but want to do better. Civil rights legislation led organizations to hire more demographic subgroups. When employers found that they could be sued for alleged discrimination, many put into place programs and processes that were required or that would reduce the likelihood of lawsuits. The corporate world's emphasis on diversity management increased during a period in the 1980s when integration slowed as a result of unfavorable court decisions or challenging legal procedures. Diversity programs came into being as part of a response to this legal vacuum. Astute business people realized that there were problems of discrimination in the workplace, and the law was not then a significant force in addressing them. Other drivers of the diversity movement were real and perceived demographic changes in the workforce, changes in the structure of our economy and in the organization of work, and the development of the business case for diversity. The contemporary focus on diversity and inclusion has also been influenced by several work trends. Good diversity management leads to increased organizational profitability. The value in diversity perspective proposes that diversity is good for organizations and will improve the organization's bottom line, in contrast to the view that diversity is harmful to cohesion, communication, and productivity. The effective diversity manager must be able to articulate a business case for activities needed to manage diversity and inclusion efficiently in their organization. In laboratory experiments, it may be possible to establish convincing empirical evidence for the economic success of diversity management where outside events can be controlled. In contrast, diversity and inclusion initiatives are implemented in the messy real-world setting. Many things are going on simultaneously, so it's difficult to determine the factors that alone or in combination may have caused various outcomes. Representational diversity does not by itself make an organization more profitable. Negative impacts of diversity can be alleviated by climate, leadership, and interactional skills.